Hello, welcome to Wellness Wednesday. I am in sunny Southern California, as you can see, and I don't have my whole camera getup or anything fancy today, but I really was called to talk to you guys today. I'm talking a little quietly because it's kind of early and I don't want to wake anybody up around me, but I have a really important topic to talk about today, and that is the topic of fear. And the reason why I chose to talk about that today is I have a terrible fear that I really am working hard on trying to overcome. And I'll tell you what that is in a minute. But let's talk about fear for a minute, because everybody has fears. It could be something like a fear of spiders, or it could be more in-depth and anxious type of fears that really infiltrate into people's lives. And so it's important to know kind of how to deal with it. And there's 4 steps that I want to talk about when it comes to fear. And the first one is to acknowledge it. Acknowledge it. Acknowledge that you have a fear. It's kind of like going to an AA meeting and saying, my name is Shannon and I'm an alcoholic. So it's my name is Shannon and I have a fear and this is what it is. So you acknowledge it. You don't give it power necessarily, but you acknowledge it. The second thing to do is to analyze it. When did it start? How did it start? Does it have triggers? Does it help to talk about it? What are some things that you maybe have noticed that do help when it comes to this particular fear? Third thing is to imagine the outcome without the fear. Like a visualization. Imagine how you would feel. Imagine what would happen. Imagine the things that you could do if you didn't have this fear. The last thing is to take control of the fear. It may be a gradual process, it may be a direct process, but take control of it. So one of my biggest fears is flying. I do not like to fly. I know the statistics, I know how it works. I even took flying lessons to try to overcome my fear, and it's like an innate thing. It's really difficult for me. Sometimes I have to take prescription medication to fly. But here's what I do. I'm pretty bold with it, I think, in the sense that I do not ever let it inhibit what I do. If I have to travel, which I do a lot, I get on that plane. I may have a glass or 3 of wine. I may have to take a medication if I have to. And I struggle through the whole flight typically. But I feel good at the end of it. And before I get on the flight, I imagine what my life is like without this fear of flying. And I have some things in place that I do so that I can literally survive it in my mind. Because it's a pretty intense fear for me. So I think that's why I was called to share it with you. We had on the flight out here to California a few days ago, it was probably the worst flight I've ever been on. And the fear was really overwhelming for me. And so I know that a lot of people struggle with that fear. And I wanted to share kind of my process on how I overcome it. And I continue to overcome it, and it's still a process for me. And I hope that you're able to use a similar process to overcome your fears. And I hope that you enjoy this wonderful week. Have a wonderful Thanksgiving. And I look forward to talking to you again soon.